See.
Okay. How about now? Does it look like it's recording?
No.
All right.
It says it's recording.
Does it show?
It does now?
It does show it's recording.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. Very good. And then if everybody will just watch your lines and make sure that you stay muted unless you got a question, that will be extremely helpful. But welcome everybody to Power Hour. It's 9:01. We're going to go ahead and get started. I appreciate y'all being on, and hopefully things are going great in your business. As we always do, we'd like to open it up for questions first. I've got some things that I will share as always, but want to first open it up for questions. And just so you all know, an ideal Power Hour is where I don't get to any of the information that I prepared, and I get to save that for the next one, and I don't have to come up with things to talk about. So ideally, you guys are asking me a whole bunch of questions on how to build your business and being able to figure this whole thing out. So with that said, if you got any questions, I'm not going to be able to read the chat session, so you need to unmute yourself. Or if somebody will monitor that chat session, they might not have a microphone. If they post a question, if somebody would read that out to me, if somebody does. But with that, let's go ahead and open it up for any questions that anybody might have on the business.
Casey, it's Betty.
Yes. Hey, Betty.
Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. On the Canadian forms that come out, like, when we buy our product, it'll say return items to, because I had 2 items that were wrong. So I sent it to Mississauga, and then it got returned. And there is no return place in Canada, but it says on your page to ship to Mississauga. Is that should that be taken off? Because my Canadian people will, if there's a problem, they may just ship it back to Mississauga.
Yeah, no, that's good. And the best thing to do on that is give a call to Kyani Corporate.
Right.
When you do, let them know, and go ahead and grab a supervisor when you do that, just to make sure that it gets in the hands of somebody that'll action that, not just write it down and forget about it. We want to make sure that anytime we see something like that, and here's the deal, Kirk Hansen says it all the time, we are business partners, and it's not them versus us, it's us working together. And whenever we see something going on or something that's not working perfectly, then find a solution to it, and here you are, and you're finding a solution. So that's great, Betty. Definitely give them a call, let them know that what happened, and find out where to be able to send it, and then also let them know that they need to update their documents. If you don't feel that the person that got that information is doing what they need to do, let me know. I know the vice president of North America and know him well, and I will be able to chat with him to be able to address anything that you run into. But we want to leave it up for the proper channels to be able to take care of that. And if they do, great. If not, then we have an escalation path that we can
Right. Yeah, because I had other things, people were asking in Canada. So I said, no, if we ever have to send anything, it goes back to Idaho. I do believe, I'm not sure of the address on that one. Also, when you pay your $95 for your shipping, why do we have to pay shipping on pamphlets? Because our pamphlets, in Canadian, are $10 each, plus it's $20 to ship them without buying a product. So every time I need to buy pamphlets, if I don't want to get charged shipping, then I have to order like one product or something in order to get my pamphlets here without being a cost.
Gotcha. How many pamphlets are you using?
I use quite a few. I probably go through 25 in every 2 months on all of them, right? Because that's the only way I work, right? So, or at least that's the only way I know how to work. So, yeah.
Well, one of the things that that's why I'm asking is because I never used flyers, and that's why I was curious what you were doing with those. And some people like them, and that's great. But it's just the model that they have for shipping. So if they got certain items that have the Prime, it's typically around the products. And so as long as there's one item in Prime that is a Prime item, I'm sorry, if there's one item in your shopping cart that is Prime, then the whole thing's going to get free shipping. So, maybe plan it around that. If you need to buy quite a few of them, maybe put it together when you're ordering something else, have it be a part of that. That would be the way to go around it. But
Yeah, I did that today. I ordered an eye cream just because it doesn't come. That's the other thing. When you order the 279, you know, the 5 things for your fluoresce, the eye cream is missing. There's no ice cream with it.
Well, it's not missing. It's just not something that comes with it. So the fluorescent.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then this one. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I got my navigator here helping me out so that
That's okay.
screech the tires too bad in the S550, but we'll do it anyway. So yeah, that's perfect. That's the way to be able to get around that.
Okay.
And yes, it's just the 4 items. The eye cream is a add-on that they have. When it first came out, the eye cream was actually is a month or 2 afterwards. There was almost a riot for it. Everybody loved it so much. But yeah, it is a separate item. That
Okay.
they have for people that want.
Yeah, because when you get the simple pack, the simple things of the 5 in the in the sample pack of them, the smallest samples, they have the eye cream in there, and then just people have just been wondering why the eye cream doesn't come with it, and I had no idea. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good questions. Good questions. I appreciate it. All right, who's next with some questions? Let's keep it going. Next question. Somebody's got a question.
Yeah, me, Betty, again. When people take nitro and they get a migraine, what should we do?
They're probably taking too much of it. So it's a matter of, they're probably just taking too much of it is typically what's going to happen.
So instead of 10 drops, just cut it back to 5?
They can try that. Or if they're only doing 10 drops, then they might not be taking enough. So they might just be getting headaches and then having the extra. Did you post that earlier today?
Yeah, I did. Well, no, not me, but somebody else did. But I just followed up with one of my customers, and then they said they had a headache too. And I thought, oh, I just read that today.
Yeah.
So
what I would do is make sure they're taking the milliliter of it. So make sure they measure that out, especially if they're sensitive to it. Again, everybody's body chemistry is different. Some people drink 1 Coca-Cola and they have a headache. Some people can drink 20 of them and not feel anything. So everybody's different on that. So just have them adjust that as needed. But guaranteed, this helps tremendously with.
It would be the nitro then. It would be the nitro that's causing it then, most likely.
It could be that. Yeah, it could be that. Yep. And I think I saw somewhere where it was B12. If somebody has too much B12, and I believe this has that. I'm not the doctor. I don't remember all the details on it, but yeah, I think what was posted was some pretty good information.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, good questions, Betty. All right, who's got the next one? Unless everybody promoted to double black diamond. I remember AutoZone now. That's right. Anybody? I still have connection. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Then if not, give me just one quick second here. I'm getting ready to drop Mr. Pinso off. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Awesome. Yep. Thanks, man. All right. See ya. Yep. Okay. So here's what I've got that I wanted to share with everybody. So I'm not at a spot where I can actually draw this out, but hopefully everybody has pen and paper because I want to share some numbers for everybody so that they can write a couple things down. And I want you to be able to see what this business has the potential to do. The first thing that I want to do before I get in that, so we're gonna be doing some numbers tonight. Okay, so when I do these, 2 things happen. Some people that are analytical, they just absolutely love this. They've been waiting for this. This makes them very excited, and oh, I get to see numbers and all that. Other people go, oh my God, I don't do math. I don't do numbers. That's not my thing. So either way on that, what I want you to think of is if you're not a numbers person, it's not your favorite thing in the whole wide world, then what I would suggest is you get a sense of scale. You get a sense of what this thing can do. Now, if on the flip side, if you absolutely love numbers, then you're going to get some pretty neat ones and you're going to enjoy this. So what I want to do first is I want to talk about what it takes to be able to hit certain ranks. I want to be able to share that with you. All right, he's good. So the first rank that we are shooting for is Jade, okay? So when you're getting to Jade, the first thing that you need to be able to do, there's 2 requirements to be able to hit Jade. Actually, there's 3. First thing is you got to be a qualified distributor. Here's something, especially as we start getting close to the end of the month, that a lot of people sometimes will forget, especially if you're brand new, is you got to make sure that you've got 150 points of volume. That's personal volume that you have, and that can be created by a couple of things. If it's your first month, then your own personal purchase of being a distributor, you buy a box, and when you buy that box, you're actually going to get volume for that. So that takes care of you your first month. The second month, and you also want to be your own customer. The second month, you need to make sure that you're a qualified distributor, and to be able to do that, you've actually got to be able to have 150 QV, and the way that you can get there is you can be your own customer. And you need to get one other customer. If you're both on auto ship, what that's going to do is get you to a point where you've got 80 points of volume for each, for yourself and for the other person. And when you do that, that's going to get you to your 150. It'll have you over that. So that's one thing to make sure. Okay. If you have any questions about that or not quite clear on that, definitely stop me and we'll go over it, or you can check with the person that brought you on. But make sure you've got that 150 so you're qualified. There's nothing worse than building a big organization, forgetting that part, and then not getting paid on what you built. The next thing that you need to do for Jade is altogether you need to have 2,000 points of volume. Okay, that's the first part of the requirement. The second part is you need to have at least 2 legs in your organization, and in the smaller of those 2 legs, you need to have at least 800 points. Okay, so 2,000 total. 800 of that needs to be, at least 800 of that needs to be in your smaller of the 2 legs. So let's do a couple of examples. If you're drawing this out, draw a circle at the top, and that's going to be you. And then draw 2 children in your little family tree. All right. And underneath one of those children, have one of them have a kid. That'll be the third person on your team. It'd be your 4th circle. There's 1 for you, 2 underneath of you, and then 1 underneath one of those. Now, the leg that you have 2 people in, that's going to be your larger leg. Okay. The leg that you've only got 1 person in, that's your smaller leg. When you look at that, and if it's in your first month, the volume that you brought in, you got 500 points for your box, most likely, if you came in at the $5.99 US dollars box. Or maybe you came in at the huge box and you get 750 points. Or hopefully you didn't come in at the small one. It happens every once in a while. There's different reasons why people must do that. No matter what, hey, get it, no problem. And then they'll have 200 points for that. But regardless of that, that's the amount of volume that you have. To make this an easy example, we're going to use the $5.99 pack US dollars, the middle pack, and that's going to be worth 500 points of volume. Okay? So if each of the people that came in have 500 points of volume, then you're going to have 2,000 points altogether. Okay. Now, over in the small leg, the leg that's got 1 leg, or one distributor, there's only 500 points in that one, but you also need to realize that your personal volume goes into that also. And since you just joined, the box that you got is worth 500 points also, so that means you got 1,000 points in your smaller leg. So you have reached the requirement of 2,000 points total in your organization, and you got 1,000 points, which is more than 800, in your smaller leg. When you do that, you're a Jade. Congratulations. Okay? So now, if you take a look at this, that's you, and you got 3 business partners in your organization. The next thing I want you to start focusing on is imagine that each one of those business partners got 7 customers. Okay. Now, that includes you. You're at the top of your organization. You are a business partner. You've got a distributorship with this. You want to make sure that you are impacting lives. You want to be sharing this information out with people from a perspective of, hey, are you looking for more health? You want to ask questions of people and see if they're looking for more health. If they're looking for more health, you want to say that, hey, I know somebody you need to talk to. or I know a Facebook group that you need to be able to get on. And if you would get on there, you'd be able to see what this is doing for helping people. And so you know a guy in that situation as well. When you do that, you're going to get a customer. Now, if you go out trying to sell this stuff to somebody, they're probably not going to be interested. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to ask questions. You're trying to find out how they feel, what they're dealing with, what's going on in their life. If you'll just ask the right questions, you'll be amazed at what comes into your organization. Absolutely amazed at what comes into your organization. So let's focus on getting 7 customers in your organization. So let's do some math here with what we've built so far. So assume, sorry, I am looking for this Starbucks so I can get Wi-Fi, and if I can, then I am going to get onto my Surface and actually draw this out for everybody. Cool. I think this is going to work out. So assume that you are able to get 7 customers. And if you get those 7 customers, I'm sorry, everybody, bear with me one quick second here. I'll be right back. Give me about 40 seconds. I'm going to see if I can get this on Wi-Fi and actually draw this out. So bear with me one quick second. Sorry. If this works, it's going to be awesome. If not, I'll keep doing it this way. Bear with me a few more seconds. I think this might work. All right, folks, almost there. Bear with me just a bit longer. All right, so doesn't look like it's going to work. I'm going to keep going. So if you get 7 customers, you're going to notice that if those customers come in, they're going to be worth, when they're on auto ship, they're going to be worth 80 points of volume. Okay. So 7 customers, 80 points of volume, that's 560 points of volume that you're going to have. Now, when somebody comes in as a business partner, they're going to be worth 500 points when they first come in, but they're not going to keep coming in at 500 points every single time. They're only going to come in one time. So it's important that you make sure that these people, as they come in, that they're doing what we want them to do, which is we want to make sure they go out and get 7 customers. When they do that, they're going to impact 7 lives. When they do that, it's going to cause 80 points of volume to come in for each of them. That's going to be 560 points of volume that they brought to the table. So when you draw this out and you look at that, at the beginning, when those 3 people came in plus you, then you've got 2,000 points, and you hit Jade because 1,000 of those points was outside your largest leg, and you only needed 800 to be able to do that. Now what you've got is you've got 7 customers each. You've got 28 customers in your organization. Okay, you've got 4 people, yourself and 3 others, that have 7 customers each. That's 28 customers. And at 80 points apiece, that's going to make 2,240 points. That's going to make sure you're Jade. And when those people are on the product, they're going to keep ordering the product. They're going to stay on the product. And every month, on the first day of the month, because that's when you want them to set their auto ship, you're going to be at Jade just like that. Now, the goal, the intent, are those 3 people that came in your organization. What do each of them know? They know a whole bunch of people. Your goal is to get 3 business partners and 7 customers for them too. So each of those 3 people are going to go out and get 3 people. So now what you've got on this next layer, if you will, and this is going to kind of switch it around a little bit. Don't worry about drawing it out anymore as far as building the organization out. Just get the visualization that as that continues to grow, once you've seeded it this way, if you just look at it with each generation that comes on, you came on, you brought 3 people. Each of those 3 people that are on are going to get 7 customers, and they're going to bring on 3 people. All right, so Al brings on 3, Bob brings on 3, Chuck brings on 3. That's 12 people. Plus you, that's 13 business partners that are in the organization. Each of them go get 7 customers, and now you've got 91 customers in your organization. 91 customers in your organization at 80 points apiece, you got 7,280 points of volume in your organization. And I'm not counting the 500 points that each one of those business partners brought with them for that one time. I'm focusing solely on customers when we're drawing this out. The difference in our organization and a lot of organization is the number of customers that we bring on. A lot of people come in this thing, they get excited, and they bring in a whole bunch of business partners, and those business partners don't learn the skills, don't learn what it is that we do, and they don't go about it the right way. They're trying to sell stuff to people. They're trying to push their wares onto other people. That is not our goal. That is not our intent. Our intent is to find out what people want. If somebody wants to make money, then we're going to talk to them about the business. You're not, we are. If somebody is interested in the health, you're not going to talk about that. You're going to point to the wellness from the inside and out, or point to one of your business partners. You're not there to be able to explain that. You're there to find out what they want. And when you do it that way, you're going to get a whole lot more customers. Why? Because that's what our numbers show. That's how we work. That's how we operate. And just like that, you have 7,280 points of volume. Folks, that's Pearl and then some. That's halfway to Sapphire from Pearl. The average Pearl earns $659 a month. Now, as soon as you hit Pearl, does that mean you're going to make $659? I don't know. It depends on a whole bunch of different factors. But we do know that if you take every single Pearl in the company and you add up all the checks and you average those out, the average Pearl is going to make $659. Now, some Pearls are going to have a whole lot more volume. You could have 12,000 points of volume and still be a Pearl because you didn't get your second leg requirement. So you're still a Pearl, and so you're going to have a bigger check because you got so much more volume coming through. Okay? So again, $659 simply for helping 3 people come on board. You get 7 customers. You show them how to get 7 customers and have that duplicate one time. And that's what we've got there. Now, so again, you've got you brought in the next generation 3 people. Each of those 3 people brought in 3 people. You've got 9 on that generation. That's the one we just finished. So now let's go down another layer. In that layer, you've got 27 people. Why? Because each of those 9 people who just got on board are going to go out and find 3 business partners. Now, is it going to happen by tomorrow? Maybe. Is it going to happen in a month from now? Maybe. It depends on how quickly you get out there and speak with people. It depends on how quickly you get out there and find out what people want. People say, well, I'm real good on getting customers, but I'm terrible at getting business partners. That's because you're not asking what they want. You're going out because you want to get customers. And that's great. We want customers. It's a beautiful thing to have all the customers. That's what we're after. But we're also looking for business partners because you need to do both things, not just the 3 or not just the 7. You want to do both. So let the prospect, let the person that you're having a human conversation with decide that. tonight we were at a networking event, and it's so entertaining to me to go to these things. It's so funny. You get there, and everybody starts coming in. Everybody's kind of, it's weird. Nobody knows anybody, and I used to go to those things, and I'd go around table to table and just introduce myself to everybody, and just try to think of the really right thing to say to a complete stranger. And it's like, this is so awkward. I don't do that anymore. When I go to these events, I go grab a drink. I sit down in the corner. I sit in a chair, and I don't get up until it's time to go. And what I do is I sit there and I literally attract people. They come up, they sit down, and they go, why are you sitting here? It's a networking event. Are you shy? I'm saying, I'm not shy at all. I'm sitting here waiting for the right person to talk to. Really? It completely blows their mind. They don't know what to do with themselves. It's completely different for them. They're so used to people coming up and just wanting to puke all over them and tell them all they're doing. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to some person and finding out a pretty good amount about this gentleman. His name's Cameron. Pretty good chance he and his wife are going to come on board. If I had to call my shot, I'm calling it. He's coming on board. And I'm sitting there, and this guy comes up, literally interrupts us, and hands me his card. And I look at his card. I throw it on the table. I completely ignore this guy, and I go back to talking to who I was talking to. Who does he think he is that he is more important than the person I'm chatting with right now? It's ridiculous. I wouldn't do business with that guy. I wouldn't put that guy out if he was on fire. It's ridiculous to me. People say, well, that's just rude. Okay, if you think that's rude, that's fine. It's rude on that guy interrupting when I'm having a conversation with somebody else. He thinks he's that important. He's trying to sell whatever it is. I saw another guy literally just go around and hand cards in the middle of conversations without even saying anything, didn't even interrupt, just handing cards. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to decide, oh my God, thank goodness this guy gave me a card for wanting to have a CPA or whatever. I don't even know what it was. I didn't even look at it. It's insane to me. Have a conversation with somebody. Find out about them. Find out what makes them tick. And when they do tell you what makes them tick, help them get what they need. If it's health, cool. If it's wealth, cool. If it's not those things, see if it's about time. If it's not about that, see if it's about significance or charity or being able to help people. If it's not those things, we're probably not going to be able to help them. And you say, hey, great, it's nice meeting you. I wish you all the best of luck. What can I do to help you in what you're trying to pursue? And see if you can help them do that. They might come around later. So when we're doing that, don't go out trying to just get customers. Don't go out trying to just get business partners. Go out to help the other person. That's the message. Okay, next layer here. We had 9 people on that layer. Now each of those 9 go out and get 27. I'm sorry, each of those 9 go out and get 3 for a total of 27 new people that come in on that level. Now you got yourself an organization that's starting to really to hum. Now, here's the cool thing. Each of those 27, when they go get 7 customers, you're looking at 280 customers. If you add this up, you've got 1 for you, 3 that you brought in. They each got 3, those 9, plus the 3 they each got, which was those 27. You add that all up, you've got 40 business partners in your organization. Each of them got 7. That's 280 customers. You've impacted 280 lives, just like that. 280 lives, you multiply that out, you're looking at 22,400 points of volume. Does anybody here think that they can't help 3 people find more wealth and 7 people find more health in this, and that's all they ever do? If you think you can do that, and you're right, you can. If you think you can't do that, you're right and you can't. That's up to you. But I don't think anybody on here thinks that they can't do that. If you can do that, the next person can do it too. Everybody gets messed up when they start thinking about the exponential possibilities of what goes on. Here's why it doesn't always work out just like that. Because people break the system. People break the mold. The information doesn't go from one person to the next person in the most efficient way. And when that happens, you get a deformity out of the whole thing. When it happens in nature, you get deformities when the DNA doesn't do what it's supposed to do, when the copy of it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It'll still function, it'll still do it, but it's not going to do it as optimally as it would have done it. It's extremely important to make sure that the duplication of this thing continues on. And all of a sudden, you've got probably somewhere around $1,800 a month coming into your bank account. You're almost a ruby. You're a very high sapphire. Let's do it one more time. 27 people, those people that just came on, go get 3. That's 81 more people, another generation. Add that to what's already come on, you've got 121 people in your organization. Each of them gets 7 customers. And this isn't 7 new customers. These are the same 7 that you already had. Well, Casey, what if one drops off? Go get another one. How do I do that? Listen, they'll tell you they're not feeling good. How many people talked to somebody today that said they didn't feel good? Did you do anything about it? Or did you say, oh, that's terrible, I'm sorry to hear that? Find out if they want to fix it. Hey, I heard what you're saying. I'm sorry that you don't feel good. You want to fix that? Ask a question. Maybe they don't. A lot of people don't. They just want to whine about it. That's okay. Well, what do you mean? I want to know, do you want to fix it? Do you want to keep being tired every day? Well, what is it? It's a thing that's going to make you feel better. Want to try it? That's what we do. Next generation, those 81 go out. Oh, I didn't finish the numbers. 81 people come on the next generation. That's 121 total. You got 847 customers. At 80 points apiece, that's 67,760 volume. 67,000. Well past Emerald. You're probably looking at close to $5,000 a month at that point. Well, Casey, I thought Emeralds are 7,400. Yeah, the average Emerald. It depends on how far up the spectrum of Emerald, because 99,000 is also an Emerald. And guess what? You could have 200,000 in your organization, but if you don't have that second leg built out, then you're still going to be an Emerald, and you can be a whole lot higher. People have asked, well, how have you been doing in this as Emerald? I'm letting you know that there are 5-figure checks coming in at Emerald. Next up after that, those 81, they go out and they get 3. That's 243 people that came in. Don't think that that can't happen. That can happen in one day. And if you look at the organization, you see the computer just blowing up left and right. Why? Because it's duplicating right now. People are catching on how this works. People are getting out of their own way. They're following the script, not a script. They're following the process. There's no script to it. It's talk to another person, find out what's going on in their life, find out if it's something that we can fix. If it happens to be one of the things we can fix, verify that they really have that problem. If they do, ask them if they want to fix it. And if they want to fix it, they ask, how do I fix it? You say, I know a guy. Those 243 that just came on, so 81 just went and got 3, that's 243. You're up to 364 business partners in your organization. That's 2,548 customers, 2,548 customers. That's 203,840 QV in your organization. 203,000 in volume. And again, we're not counting a single part of those 243 coming in at 500 points apiece. Folks, that's 120,000 points of volume in and of itself. We're not counting that. Just looking at it from a customer perspective, you're almost to blue diamond. Okay, but 203,000, you're looking at well over $14,000 a month as a diamond. It happens one more time. Those 243 go get 3, and they get 7. That's 729 new people. You got 1,093 in your organization. Business partners. 7,651 customers. 80 points of volume for each of them. That's 612,000 points of volume. That's $50,000 a month coming into your bank account. You guys starting to get a feel for what we're dealing with here? Let's say that it doesn't even fully duplicate on the next one. We'll go ahead and put down what it is if it did. It's 2,187 people that come on board. That's a total of 3,280 business partners. That's 22,960 customers. That's 1.8 million QV. That's just shy of red diamond numbers. You're absolutely very strong purple. Call that about $120,000 a month. So if you want to know what it is right away, you need 1,780 business partners in your organization total, each getting 7 customers. That'll get you about 22,500. That's not right. 12,500 customers. And that comes out to 1 million QV, which is Purple Diamond. Just so you know, my goal for this organization is to be Purple Diamond by the end of this calendar year. How we do that is not by going out and trying to sell this. It's simply having a duplicatable process that is as simple as it is. If you've been looking at Tara and David Jones, if you've been looking at Robert, if you've been looking at some of the new folks that have just been coming on, they are following the system to a T. First time I met Robert, I asked him, what do you know about this business so far? He felt sheepish that he was getting ready to rat out Tara and David and say, well, you know, to be honest with you, they didn't share a thing with me. I don't have a clue what this is all about, but I know them. I trust them. I want to make some more money. And they said they got a guy, and here I am having lunch with you. And that's how it works. And that's why it keeps duplicating, because they're not trying to sell anything to anybody. They're trying to find out what somebody wants. Are they getting customers? Absolutely. Tara has ran the power play so many times already with the customers. It's insane. Folks, it's simply a matter of that happening. But here's where it's very, very important. It has to keep happening. You have to make sure that the new person that comes in is following that process. So here's what we have done. Some of you have seen a video that I posted today, and it's called I Know a Guy, or That Guy, or something like that. Anyway, it's on the YouTube channel. And if you don't have that, somebody can post that to a Power Hour for me to the chat session. That would be great. If you'll put it in the chat session here that we're talking, and if you could also put it in the Facebook Messenger group, I would greatly appreciate it. And what that's for is for when you get done finding out what somebody wants, you can simply say, look, if you're serious about fixing that, if you truly, truly want to make a change in what's going on, I've got a guy I want to introduce you to. They're going to be like, okay, well, what do we do here? He's actually recorded a video here just the other day, and it's going to resonate with you. It's going to resonate extremely well with you. Do you want to watch that? It's going to really answer all the questions that you've got, and it's really going to show you what it is that we've got here and how he can help you with this. He's helping me with what I'm working on. He can help you as well. Some people are going to say, no, I don't really want to watch the video. Great. Would you like to talk to the guy or talk to one of our team members on that? If they say no, cool, absolutely. Keep dealing with what you're dealing with. You don't really want to fix it. I hope you have a fantastic day and get away from that person. All they're going to do is keep whining and complaining, sitting in traffic, not doing anything, not changing anything. They just want to complain. Let them complain. You do not have to sit there, look down, look at your feet and go, huh, holy crap, I'm not a tree. I have feet, and walk away. You don't have to sit there and keep listening to them whining and complaining. Get away from those people. Now, if they want to fix it, then let them know that we can fix it. If they won't even take a look, then they don't really want to fix it. Because here's the deal. If somebody's truly thirsty, they're going to drink some water. Now, if they're truly thirsty, and then you come up and they go, well, I'm not really sure, you know, what's the temperature of this water, and what was the source of this, and where did this come from? You're not thirsty. Somebody's hungry and comes up, well, I don't know what all's in this. Look, if you're hungry enough, you don't care. You don't care if it might be a couple days off. You're going to eat. If they're not hungry, they're not hungry. That's fine. Stop trying to convince those people. Because when you convince them to do that, you got to convince them to do every other step in the business, and we are not in the convincing business. We are looking literally for 3 people to be able to help with the business and 7 people to be able to help from a product perspective. And when we're able to do that, we duplicate that. That's all this business is. And that fast, that quickly, it'll turn into a Purple Diamond organization, and it won't stop there. What we've got in place, the beginnings of what Team Fusion was all about, and then I'll be honest with you, my personal opinion, this isn't anybody else's. I hope nobody gets bent out of shape, but if they do, I don't care. What happened was there were some issues with a Team Fusion app way back in the day. And when it wasn't working, everybody went back and started scrambling and doing things differently. But prior to that, when they were doing it, using the system, only talking to people that wanted to talk to them, pre-qualifying people, finding out what those people wanted, and if we could help them with what we do, let them see how this is done,
and let them see that we've got a better way. And when that happened, folks, you look at David Nieves' organization, you look at James Bradford's organization, you look at all these leaders on what it did, and it absolutely exploded. What we're doing is the exact same thing. We're doing it in a more efficient manner. There's a video. It's a pre-qualification video. It's an inoculation video. It's all of that rolled up into one. If somebody, and an efficiency added into it with the RP3, build rapport, pique their interest, and get them in front of the proof. That's what that video is for. If you will follow that, if people will see that, if people don't blow you up afterwards, they're not who you're looking for. They're getting in their own head. Nobody says no to this business. They say no to what they think they have to do if they say yes. That video, if it doesn't get them over that hump, then they're probably not going to get over that hump. They're going to think in their head, oh, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't. Guess what? They're going to keep doing the same thing that they feel that they can do. They won't even get out of their own head and get past that. We cannot help them. We can help them with their health. Maybe they want to be a customer. But if they truly want to fix that, they'll watch that information. When they get done with it, they'll see that they can do it too. What is it that we do? The exact same thing. I had another gentleman that I spoke with, Mr. Jody, today. He came out to the house. He's on a whole different separate team with Miss Felicia. And we talked about it today, and he saw the presentation. He heard all the information. But what it all came down to, he said, everything looks great. And I've done one of these, and I was a little cautious about it. But my question is, I'm not quite sure. And I finished the sentence for him. I said, you're not quite sure what you're going to do once you say yes. He said, exactly. And I walked him through how the process works. When he got done with that, he was just excited as can be because he saw a path on what he has to do. Doesn't matter what you do. It does matter what you do, but it doesn't matter in your organization blowing up. It matters what they think they can do. When you bring those three people on board, if they don't have a clear path on what they're going to do, they're not going to take action. Anytime somebody's confused, they sit there. You ever go to Cheesecake Factory for the first time and you look at that menu and you're like, I don't know what to do. And you just close it and you just sit there quietly for a little bit because it's overwhelming. You don't know what to do. It's a confusing situation. You see people downtown. I saw it tonight. They don't know where they're going. What do? They stop in the middle of traffic because they don't know what to do. They don't keep taking action. When people don't know what to do, they sit. They don't move. It is imperative that we make sure they know exactly what to do. That's what the plan on a page is for. It can't, I'm not going to say it can't be made any simpler because there's always a way to improve something. But my goodness gracious, that's about as good as the mousetrap gets. Those steps are so stinking simple if you'll allow them to be simple. What messes with you is when I start talking about 1.8 million QV and $120,000 and you think you got to go in there and do a whole lot of stuff to be able to make all that work. The only thing you got to do is make sure it duplicates. And that's what that video is for, is it's a stamp. It's a stamp that'll keep doing that. Now, there's nothing better than doing that call live. The problem is for it to explode, you got to be able to have technology to help it scale. You can't go in there and make all the widgets yourself. You got to have a factory that creates that. That's what that video is for. That's what the Jade Factory is all about. It's about stamping jades. It's about helping people get 3 business partners to get jade and then locking that in as a jade forevermore with those 7 customers. And when everybody does that, now, do you stop there? No, you can keep going with this. It keeps scaling. But if you can at least do that, and every single person can do that, they just need to see how to do it. And when you show them how to do that with the plan on a page, it just continues on and continues on and continues on. And every step, every generation, 7 more people are being helped with the product. That is absolute power. That is absolute impact. That is absolute get out there and change the course and the destiny of your life, your family's life, your kids' lives, your kids' kids' lives, and generations to come. This is the type of stuff where you got to go get the really cool, where you see it in all the movies or in the big old mansions where, you've got the whole family there and they're standing behind the chair and they got their suit and tie on and everything, and they got the library behind them and there's a hand oil painted drawing of all that. That's what you're going to have to stand up for and take one of those where they sit there and they paint all that so it can go into your mansion, and your great grandkids are going to remember you because you decided to figure out how this system works. And if you think I'm joking, I'm not. That's the power of what we have. But it doesn't matter if I'm the only one that believes that. And it's not a belief, it is a no. It is, I know this, that I know it, that I know it. If that sounds boastful, I don't care. It is a fact. Figured just that little part out. Had another guy that just got started in the business. Called him to welcome him to the team today. Be honest with you, I didn't even know he had already joined because they're joining so fast right now. I was calling to check in on him. Come to find out he already joined. Cool, that's awesome. And then he said, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to be able to do this. I said, whoa, William, hey, if you don't mind, go ahead and just zip all that up right there. And here's the deal. You don't know what you're supposed to do in this business. And everything you're getting ready to say is not right. You need to listen on how this process works. Don't come in and say, this is how we did it over here, and that's how we did it over there. If you want to do that, go do it. But if you want to follow the process that we put in place, then get out of your own head, follow this process, trust this process, and put this in place first. I promise you, if you follow this process, you will see that it works. And more importantly, you will see that it duplicates. If you don't do it this way, it might work, but it ain't going to duplicate. That I can assure you. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirts, got the magazines, got all that stuff for it. I'm telling you, this is how it's done. He said, I love it. Let's do it. I'm going to follow what you say. That's what you got to do with your people. You got to make sure that they understand. It's not open for discussion on that. It's their business. They can do it however they want to. But if they want to plug into what's going on, you have to make sure they know that. You got to make sure they see that. Okay? All right. Any questions out of all of this? I've been rambling on for a bit, but I'm pretty damn passionate about this.
Hey, Casey, I have a question.
Yes, Nora.
It's not about what we just discussed. I printed up the form for the direct deposit, and it's asking for a canceled check. I don't deal with checks. I only order deposit slips. How do I do that?
I don't know. You might have to go to your bank and get them to issue a temporary check. What they're really looking for is they want to know that you actually have an account. So they should be able to do something at your bank to be able to create one of those for you.
Okay,
Casey,
cool.
Casey,
Thank you.
Yes.
she can go to the bank and they'll actually cut her a check with a check number, just like if she ordered checks.
Yep.
They'll typically
Awesome. Thank you.
3 at a
Yeah,
time.
you're welcome. Perfect. Good
Awesome.
questions.
Thank
Good
you.
answers. Yeah, you're welcome. Other questions?
Hey, Casey, I have a question.
Yes, Melissa.
Hi. For people who I sent out the video to who just have never responded to that, I would imagine I follow up. How much time should I give them in between sending the video and actually following up if I haven't been able to lock down a good time for them to watch the video in my previous conversations with them, or another exposure to the product?
I usually will go about 24 hours.
Okay.
I'll give them 1 day. I usually don't. I try not to go more than that. People say, "Oh, that's pushy," and you're, being all pushy on it. I believe in it that much, and that's why I'm pushy. I want to make sure that I'm helping them, and we got something that's amazing. So if they don't like that, then they don't have to respond. It's no problem. But yeah, that's what I do. I usually try not to let it go more than 24 hours.
24. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I guess you could also use the whatever the dating rules are these days. But if you really, really like them, then I don't know. Maybe you don't wait as long, and if you don't really care, then call them whenever. I don't know. All right. Other questions?
Casey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't have a question. I just wanted to elaborate a little bit farther on what you had said about that network deal that we went to tonight. What you guys need to understand is what Casey's telling you is dead on. I'm a businessman. I get approached by a lot of things. I'll bet I had 10 to 12 people tonight. All they wanted to do is come up and give me a card and puke all over me. And I wouldn't even take their card from their hand, because you got to understand, when we're out, bombarding people, that's not what they're looking for. Now, some of these people may or may not have been beneficial to me or to yourself, but it was the way that they handled it. And most people get bombarded every day with buy my this, buy my that, go here, go there. So when they do that, their guard is up immediately of anything that's coming into their universe that they're not looking for. So by you teaching these guys that you need to make it all about them. If those people would have approached me and asked me who I was, what I did, and then they provided me with information that may or may not have been useful, that would have been different. I would have given them the time to let them try to sell me something or at least provide me with information. But when we're getting hit with that, vomiting situation, which a lot of the new people do, and even some of the old ones are still doing it, they've got to understand they have got to make all of this about them being the prospect. When you do that, everybody wants to go fast, but when you do that, you will actually go faster because you'll get more yeses than nos, because physically, you're building a wall for your potential people by bombarding them about stuff that's all about you. They don't have to say no. You're creating the no for them. But by building the rapport, finding out from them what is truly needed and wanted, and then showing them how they can obtain that or how we can help them obtain that, is a totally different flow that they're not used to, which is the most beneficial flow that there is what's in it for them. And I wanted to throw that in there because I was getting bombarded tonight with everybody and their brother handing me cards and puking all over me. And it's like, I didn't want anything to do with them because they weren't there to service me. They were there to service themselves. So you guys got to understand how important that really is. I'm out.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Absolutely, 100% spot on. When I sat there and I spoke with this guy, I probably spoke with him for 30, 40 minutes in between people coming up and interrupting us. And it was no rush. I don't think he spoke to another person there. And I could have left there at that point and been completely happy with just meeting that person. It's such a difference when you're there to actually learn about another person, truly being interested in what they've got going on. Not trying to think, what do I need to say next? How do I sound important to this person? No, just ask about them. And when it's done, then it starts flipping around and he starts thinking, maybe I should ask this guy some questions. He starts asking about a little bit here, a little bit there. When it's all said and done, it's like, look, man, if you're truly serious about wanting to be able to make some more money, I'd be happy to tell you what's going on. I shared my personal story, but I didn't go into all the business stuff. I didn't mention a thing about the company, didn't talk about the company. He just says, man, it looks like you're doing well. You traveled, you've done a lot of different things. Yeah. Is that something that you're interested in? It is. Fantastic. And so I got his information. And it wasn't that he was giving me a card or I gave him a card. It went into the phone. People said, I got to have a business card. No. I honestly believe that business cards are probably one of the worst things that you can have, to be completely. I don't care. I haven't carried business cards for 6+ years. Because there is no chance that I'm going to be at a point where if I made a relationship build with somebody else, I can't spend an extra 3 seconds and type that number in my phone. But just handing somebody something, there's no personality to that. There is nothing there. It is nothing to me. Get that information. Now, I don't have my phone. Okay, yeah, you need a business card. Okay, I get it. But the point is, if it was a relationship that you built, then you're going to put that in the phone. Otherwise, you're going to have a business card, and that means nothing. All right. Final questions from anybody?
Mr. Salji, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. Quick question on the inoculation video you made.
Yep.
Can people outside of your team effectively use that?
Absolutely. 100%. So the way they would go about that is when you're chatting with them, say, look, if you're truly serious about fixing whatever it is you just said, then I'd like to introduce you to a guy that I think will resonate with you. I want you to listen to what he has to say.
They're like, okay, how do we get in touch with this guy? I got a video of him, and he's got a message that I think it'll really resonate with you. Would you be interested in taking a look at that? If I sent that to you, would you watch it? If I would, you? And if they don't, then I guess they weren't that hungry. They weren't that thirsty. But if you edify the heck out of that, if you edify the heck out of me because you've got the trust with this person and you're transferring that over to me by saying, look, this is somebody that I really want you to take a look at what he has to say. Now, if you don't feel that way about me, don't lie about it. Then it probably won't be that effective. But if you see what that video does and it resonates with you, then make sure they know how you feel about that video so that they want to take a look at it. I don't try to convince people to take a look. If they get in their head and they start thinking about a whole bunch of other things on what they're going to have to do, then I might take a shot at convincing them to get out of their own head and say, look, a lot of people do what you're doing right now. And I'm trying to keep you from doing that. I'm asking you to watch a video. You watch stuff on TV all the time. You don't think a second thought about it. But now all of a sudden you're getting in your own head thinking that you're going to have to do a whole bunch of other stuff all of a sudden because for you to fix whatever issue you're trying to fix, you think it's going to require this, that, and the other. And if you think that, you are incorrect. And that's the part where you got to edify. You got to push it. You haven't seen this before. You haven't seen this way of operating before. And I'll go so far as to say, I promise you haven't seen this before. Because here's the deal. They haven't seen me do it because I just recorded it last night. So there you go. It's truthful. Tyler, does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I made this for multiple reasons. I made it because I want this thing. It's kind of like you get the factory working and you make sure you can pump out the widgets. And then you're always looking to see how many widgets could we push through this thing? How many of these could we actually have go through? Once you've proven out that you can make one of them, then you turn the speed up a little bit. We did that too. Once we started doing that, now we got it to a point where it's dialed in. You're going to see a couple more things going to be coming out here shortly. And those are the parts that are going to make this factory hum like you've never seen hum before. You're going to see this organization blow up like you haven't seen an organization blow up before. If you will do the part to play in that factory. We got to have you in that factory. We got to have you following the process of this factory. You go in and you start doing all kinds of crazy stuff, you're going to screw up the line in the factory. Now, I built this so that this team can blow up. I also built it this way, and I truly mean this, is so that there's a lot of people, and I've been racking my brain on how to be able to do that, and it was pretty damn obvious, and those are usually the good ones when it was obvious, and I should have thought about it before. But this is going to help people that are maybe not directly in my organization, but have been looking for something that really works a whole lot better and resonates with them. You can try the carpet bombing approach. That is an approach, and you will get results with that. But I tell you, this is going to go a whole lot bigger, a whole lot faster, as long as everybody does their part in the factory. And everybody is welcome in this factory.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, sir.
You are very welcome, sir. I appreciate you. All right. Last question. Let's see here. I think
Mr. Salty.
Yes, sir, Mr. Long.
I love that video concept, and maybe for different reasons too. Then my take on it is I probably still want to use the actual call, but for some of the folks that are either think they're too busy or too important or maybe too timid to get on the phone, could that be a great answer?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a tool. You know, some people use a hammer to, smash spiders. Some of them use it to smash nails. You can use it for a lot of different things. So absolutely. Its intent is for a certain thing, but yeah, it can be used for all sorts of stuff. So
there's folks I'd like to have talk to you, but I don't, to get them to is a lot harder than it would be to get them to look at a video.
100%. That's why this was built. This was built for the 80% case. This was built for the common case. This was built so that I don't have to be the guy. Here's the deal. I love talking to these people, but I mean, honestly, if let's say I spent 30 minutes with them, having a deep conversation with them, which was my intent for the video, There's only 48 of those conversations I could physically have in a day. With this, I can literally have that conversation with tens of thousands of people a day. And I'm telling you, that's how big it's going to get. You just got to get all the little bits and pieces all dialed in for the factory to move. Once you get that done, you can, if you can do it for 5, you can do it for 5,000, you can do it for 50,000. That's what this is for. So absolutely, Mike, you can use that, and it'll get to a point where I'm going to be on some beach somewhere, and you're not going to be able to get me on the phone. And if you do it right, that's the ultimate goal.
I love it. It's downloaded and on my YouTube channel already.
Cool. I love it, man. And we'll do more and more things to be able to, I wanted to get that out. If you go all the way to the end, I couldn't get the darn thing to trim at the very end. So I'm sitting there smiling like a dork, and then I couldn't get it to go away. So anyway, I just finally said, look, you know what? If people don't like that, they don't have to keep watching. They can go do something else. I'm fine with it.
You're saying trim the end of it off a little bit? I could do that.
Yeah, we're getting off track here. That's not my point. I'm just saying
Okay.
that, yeah, we'll do a whole lot of things to be able to even further refine that, get some professional people in, whatever. But no, with that right there, that is going to move this organization like nothing ever before.
I have like 3 people already that I couldn't get on a third-party call that I know will watch the video.
Perfect. That's what it's for.
It's not threatening. They're afraid somebody's going to try to close them on the call.
Yep. So there was a question that was asked on the, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. And I'm glad it's adding value, and I'm glad those people are going to watch it. And that's what we need them to do, is get to that point. And then after that, hopefully they're hungry enough and they want to change their life enough to say, hey, you know what? I want to have some more information, Mike. And then we'll get to the next part. So that's awesome, man. Last question I'll answer here on the chat session is, what do you do when your business partners are on Power Hour and you are pouring out about the process and they still want to do their own thing? Yeah, here's the cool thing about human beings. It's like herding cats. All you can do is give them the information, and then they're going to do it or they're not going to do it. Now, you can enroll them. You can influence them. You can bring a lot of different information to them, but it's got to be in regards to what it is that they want. If you can tie what you're doing to what they want and show them a path that this will get it for them, they will take action in the way that you want them to, or they won't. And if they won't, then they won't. And it's time to go find some more people. Hopefully that helps. Awesome. All right, we're a few minutes over. I'm going to go ahead and end the call. I appreciate everybody jumping on. Thank you for whoever posted that. I think that was, thank you, Karen. I appreciate you posting that out to the chat session. Grab that real fast, or it'll be over in the Power Hour Facebook Messenger group. So check that out and make sure you guys use that to your heart's content. And if you need any help or you got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. All right, everybody. Let's see if I can unmute it. I think I can. Cool. Let's say good night to everybody, and we will talk to y'all next time.
Thanks, Casey.
Good night.
Good night. Thank
Casey.
you. Bye.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.